So attendees nowadays want to do something different. They're tired of sitting in a stuffy classroom or a conference room all day staring at a screen. So here we have a lot of outdoor venues, a lot of areas. We have patios, we have grass seating. We actually have a nice boat that goes out on the lake, and we can have a classroom on the cruise on the lake. This summer, we're also talking about developing an outdoor classroom up on one of our trails. So wouldn't it be neat to, say, hike for 15 minutes and then convene your meeting out in nature? You have the smell of spring blossoms, the grass. You can hear birds right now in the background. So what a difference I think it would make in engagement and return on investment. Because if your folks are engaged and really are interested in something different, I think they will get more out of the meeting. So we think that's a great possibility for us, and we're working hard to make that happen this summer. So I think you have to have an agenda, and it's always best to have an advanced agenda so that your guests know what's going to be expected. And maybe they can actually do some pre-work and have in their mind some responses, maybe some ideas, depending on what the point of the meeting is. But I really think that having it in the outdoors, yes, there can be some distractions, but again, it's different. How many times in the past have we had an outdoor meeting? I've had 2 or 3, and they're memorable. I've gone to several conferences, and I might remember what I did after hours, but I probably couldn't tell you what the session was about. So I think that's why it's important to do things different, I think out of the box, and get a different venue with different surroundings. So it's a new concept, and there are a few logistics that you have to think about, of course. You have to think about the demographic that your guests have. If it's a strenuous hike, that may not work for all groups. So you have to make sure that you keep in mind the logistics, getting people outside. And I think you have to give them advance notice. For example, if I'm dressed up in a suit and heels, and you're going to tell me I'm going to hike for a half a mile and then convene in the grass, I'm not going to be very happy. But if I've got my sneakers on and I've got my leggings, and I'm going to be happy to get out of the building and get some fresh air and just soak in some sunshine, some vitamin D, just something different. So tip number 1 is to make sure that your class participants know what's expected. They're going to be outdoors, so they can dress appropriately. Number 2, have a backup plan, because it does rain sometimes. We do get thunderstorms. If you're doing it in the fall, you could get a pop-up snowfall. So you have to have a backup plan. But then also keep your folks engaged. Don't just go out and stand around. You need to have content. And if you can engage in the surroundings, something to do with your business that is nature or is outdoors or fresh ideas, incorporate that into your meeting so it all blends and they don't think you're just trying something different. It's the logistics of getting people to the site. And then if you have folks that can't stand, you may have to plan for seating, which may not be convenient out on a trail. But if you've got a small group of, say, 12 to 15 people, I believe that you could provide for them an area that they can learn and see and also be engaged in their surroundings. But logistics is probably the toughest part, is getting everybody to the meeting space and then providing either seating or activities to keep them engaged so they're not just bored or distracted by the birds.